What do you get when you take a Massachusetts comedian,
Drink as much as you can, drink as fast as you can, have some fun.
a Massachusetts politician,
And I approve this message.
add 1 part sports, 1 part politics, and a healthy dose of unsubstantiated opinion? Sweeney Malone. Sponsored by Weymouth Bank and Plymouth Rock Financial Partners. Here's Steve Sweeney and Joe Malone.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. As we come down the home stretch for Christmas, I noticed that Steve Sweeney is in a particularly giving mood. He is in a loving mood. He's in a positive mood. He's dressed in his Charlestown hockey shirt with a little Irish Scully cap. You're looking very Bostonian, Steve.
Let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah.
What the heck is a camera doing here?
No. We've now gone from the radio medium into the television medium, so local TV stations can also enjoy Sweeney and Malone.
Yes, what station is this?
This is the Raynham Channel.
The Raynham Channel.
Did you introduce yourself? This is Steve Sweeney.
Mike Hanlon, nice to meet you.
Hi, Mike.
All right.
The
Raynham, but
I've given enough to Raynham with the dog track.
Yeah. But also too other cable setups also pick it up.
Did you ever see the guys, your people, Joe, yell at the TV screen at the dog track?
Oh yeah.
Come on, you two, dog.
Yeah.
Come on, you two.
Yeah. The great scene from Bronx Tale, where they're all down around the crap table and everybody's screaming and yelling.
That's your people.
And Mush is the guy
That's right.
Every time he puts a bet on something, that
was the horses.
Yeah.
But listen, I want to tell you, Joe.
Please.
Tonight, speaking of your people, my good friend Mike Bellatti's going to call in.
Yeah, he's one of mine.
Tonight at 7.
Yeah.
And Mike, as you know, is the son of Frank Bellotti.
And also the sheriff of Norfolk
He's
County.
the sheriff of Norfolk County, and he's kind of my boss since I do things at the jail. And he's a great guy, and he's got a great political insight. So I want you to talk politics with Mike, and I will talk to him about things that are more fun.
I would like that.
You would?
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we also have Tim Fox.
Tim, we got to
who'll be
talk
calling
football.
in,
Yes.
all the way from Florida.
Now, Tim Fox has a history with us. Sometimes he shows up and sometimes he doesn't.
That is true. Yeah. But you know what? Tonight I talked to him very recently.
Yes.
I think he'll be here.
He may
I think
stiff us.
I think he's excited about talking about the Patriots.
Well, we're going to talk about the whole league.
Okay, very good. Very
Yes.
good. Well, when we talk
Because
about the whole
football is the
league,
greatest sport because every game's an event.
It is great. When we talk about the whole league, the way they've got it set up, where right to the very end, the Patriots have an incentive to play hard and win games. They need to have that home field advantage right through the championship game. Am I right?
The Patriots are going to be fine. The fans here are totally spoiled. Here's what I want you to do, Joe. I want you to imagine to yourself, if you're in one of the great cities of America, Chicago, and you have the Chicago Bears.
All right, let me think. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Did you see the game last night?
Awful. They've quit. They've quit on their coach.
I have never seen a football team quit.
Terrible. And they paid that quarterback a boatload of money, Cutler. So,
he looks like he's a drinker.
It could be. Could, among other things.
He's got no expression. How would you like to be a New York Giants fan this year?
Or a Jets fan.
Or a Jets fan.
No, we're very, very fortunate.
I consider you, in particular, very spoiled.
Yeah, no, you're right. Oh, we got the traffic.
All right, go ahead.
I continue to be spoiled. Take it away, WATD, Sweeney and Malone. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Sweeney and Malone. We got a live orchestra here tonight.
Yeah.
Great sax player. I want to welcome them. It's Larry Legend and the McKnights.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyway, so we got Tim Fox joining us, as I mentioned.
Here now?
By the way, I was delighted. I'm going to bring this up with Tim.
Yes.
I was delighted to see my my main man, the Pats running back, who got put in the doghouse because he didn't.
What's his name? Gray.
Gray, yeah. Notre Dame grad, right?
But here's the thing.
Look at Larry. What do you got there?
Well, I really have some gifts for Steve.
Really?
I have some Christmas presents for Steve.
Oh,
thank you.
And
nice.
Steve's He's got some connections. He may get me in a movie, and I'm planning on next year would be the year that I'd get in a movie. Even if I sat in the behind the scenes as Steve was, an A-star, and I could sit and have a wine and spaghetti and some Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Larry,
cameo.
Larry, I want as a little experiment. I want to show you something. I want you to take that red glass and move it away from Joe. And watch what happens.
Well, I think it's just water.
It is.
I'm gonna actually have a sip. I'm gonna have a sip of this.
Yeah. It's just a little water with an olive and blue cheese.
But anyway,
by the way, excuse me for 1 second. My entertainment mentor, Frank Sinatra, always had a little something when he took to the stage,
As did Jackie Gleason.
Johnny Carson.
Yeah, that's right.
He always had something in the glass.
Well, Dean Martin.
I've got some great gifts here.
What do you got?
Well, a good friend of mine hooked me up with this stuff.
Okay.
that
Real
be?
good friend. Denzel.
Wow.
Sent me down.
All right.
Some
The
shirt.
Equalizer.
So here's the shirt.
Oh, my God. Put
So
that in the
Denzel
camera.
Washington.
Put that
And
on the camera.
here's some type of a little pouch, maybe. I don't know. Oh, this is like this is a fanny pack. This
How
is-
nice was that of
Look at that.
Denzel?
The Equalizer
'Cause if you had-
walks around with a fanny pack.
For those of you who don't know, I was in the Equalizer. I was Jake, the diner guy, and thank you.
All right,
And I bet
but
you didn't get anything like that, anything good like that.
He
Well,
certainly
anyway.
wasn't sharing it if he
No.
did.
Oh my God!
It took Larry Legend to bring it in.
I'm at a point in my career where I do gigs for clothing.
Very good. Yeah.
There you go. You got
Thank
lunch.
you so much, Larry. You're all right, buddy. Thank you.
Nice. The Equalizer.
Yeah.
Starring Steve Sweeney and also Denzel Washington.
Yes, I'm very excited about a script I'm writing. You know who I'm writing a script with?
Who might that be?
Your friend, Keith Dorrington,
Oh, my goodness.
who wrote The Fighter.
Yeah,
We are writing a
very
comedy together.
Beautiful. Isn't that
And it
great?
is so funny
Wow.
that I was at Barnes & Noble today, and I was laughing out loud at my own
Wow.
stuff.
I can't wait. That'd be great. He's very talented.
Oh, my
and
God, he's
you're
great.
talented, so
Yeah.
1 + 1
There you go.
will add up to about 8. Good.
1 + 1 is 8. Now, once again, Tim was supposed to call.
Oh, yeah, he's
And he's
coming
stiffing
on.
us. He is
Oh,
stiffing
he's
us.
coming on. I'm going to
So-
make a prediction. You see, you're of little faith, Steve.
Of little
Me,
faith, yes.
I believe in my fellow man. I believe in Tim Fox, and I think within the next, let's say, 2 minutes, we'll be talking to Tim. And he'll be breaking down not
Don't
only...
listen. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
When you talk to Tim, don't just jump right away to who's going to be in the Super Bowl. I want you to talk about the whole league, playoff implications, who you like, who
See,
you
now
don't.
that's offensive because you are presuming that I'm not going to ask an interesting line of questioning. I think I do just fine. I'm going to ask him something other than what are you wearing, Tim? I guarantee you that. You know.
I think attire is very important.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to.
All right, let me
here's
ask-
what I'm going to drill down.
How do you like the fact that Green Bay lost to Buffalo?
Right. Right.
What do you think about that?
You know what? I'm going to coin a phrase here.
Okay.
Listen up. On any given Sunday, a team in
Hey,
the NFL...
Tim is on right now.
Cut it out. Tim.
Yes, sir.
Hold on here. Howard Cosell is with us. He wants to introduce you.
There he is, a youngster from the Ohio State University. He played there. He played in the pros. He's considered one of the all-time greats. But one of the things that Tim Fox is known for also is drinking himself silly at the Schooner Lounge in Hull, Massachusetts.
Very good. Very good.
Well, I just want to tell you that if it was truly Howard, it was always Timmy.
Timmy.
Oh, wow. Timmy, is that
Timmy.
right?
Hey, I'm trying to get my earphones here.
And
Hey,
by the way, Tim, you got to be ecstatic. I think we touched on this, but the Ohio State University made it to the Final Four, huh?
Yes, very, very happy to see that. I mean, it was. I thought it was a no-brainer, and I was kind of telling people, from about the last 3 games of the season, that if everybody just won out, I don't think there's any way that they don't make it in there. Now, I had a lot of people arguing with me on that one, but as it turned out, right. I mean, it was tough for this committee to try to make a decision between the other 2 teams, being that one beat the other, but the other one was ranked lower. So, the Big 12 didn't crown a champion, and so and from the committee's point of view, I think they just said, well, look, we're not going to crown a champion, then we'll just put Ohio State in, and we dodged that bullet. So
Hey,
it
Tim.
worked out good for the Buckeyes.
we are on television right now. What are you wearing?
Well, believe it or not, I'm in shorts and a golf shirt because I'm down in Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida.
And,
all right.
And it was a beautiful day today, right? 80 degrees?
Very, very nice. And we're just coming back from picking out the Christmas tree. So.
Wow. So you're in the car now?
I am, yep.
All right.
Are you with the bride?
I'm actually with my daughter, son-in-law, and my newest grandchild.
Ah.
Oh, congratulations and Merry Christmas to the entire Fox family.
Joe, that's all very nice, but it's not interesting.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
let's get to the
what,
NFL.
Steve,
Not going to help him with the spread.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It won't break down this week's games.
Let me ask you this, Tim. Just, betting jelly beans. What team do you know has beat the spread the most often this year? Do you happen to know?
I would have no idea.
No idea. Okay. Last week, some surprises. Green Bay lost to Buffalo.
I'd say that's a surprise.
It turns out that Aaron Rodgers, Joe, did you know this, was taking LSD? Did you know that?
Get out of here. Now, see, those are the kind of rumors that get spread on Sweeney Malone that give Sweeney Malone and WATD a bad name.
Last night, Tim, I have to say, I have never seen anything like this, and John Gruden said the same thing. He had never seen a team less competitive than the Chicago Bears last night.
Well, I mean, that all revolves around their quarterback. I mean, why they decided to pay him the money that they paid him. He's never done well. He's never been a winner. He is, he divides the team. Half the team can't stand him. It's just they got a lot of problems.
You know, Steve Young, I love Steve Young. He was saying afterwards, he said, people look at the game and they think that's the quarterback. He said, it's the boring work you have to do in March and April, studying defenses. And he said, I've talked to this kid for 10 years about his footwork. It hasn't changed. He was appalled.
Yeah. Well, I think as long as he thinks he's good, I guess that's all that matters. But, there's a lot of other differing opinions now.
No, Steve Young thinks he's awful.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm saying Jay obviously Cutler thinks he's good, but
well, so when you look at the cream of the crop, it's a very small group of cream teams, huh?
It is. But I mean, I think I don't see any, dominant team this year. I just think that obviously everyone's pleased with the way the Patriots have turned out here towards the end of the season, and it would have been nice if they could have beaten Green Bay. But I mean, of all the teams that they had to lose to one of them, Green Bay was the team to lose to because it was in, not in their division, not in the conference. Doesn't affect them for a tiebreaker. And I think you're probably better off having lost to them if by chance you face them in the Super Bowl. But I don't see a dominant team. It just goes to show that, I think there's probably 10 teams in the league that could beat the Patriots on any given Sunday. It's just a question of who shows up.
By the way, and I brought this up, I think, before he played this week, but one game suspension would have been enough for Gray. He's hot. He's a hot running back. Why they... Supposedly, because he overslept, was late for a meeting?
I don't think that was the reason. Here's what I think. I think that Belichick figures out, okay, what do we need to beat this other team? We need Blunt. We need passing. We need something else. And when it's appropriate to use that runner, he uses it.
Let's ask the most knowledgeable football person in the nation. Go ahead, Tim.
I think that whole thing was overplayed. I think it just wasn't what Belichick in the game plan.
Enough said by you, Steve.
Okay, all right.
Stifle, as Archie would say.
I think there's something to be said for that, Steve. But I can tell you that you do not want to cross Bill Belichick. He can be a very vengeful guy, and I think there was a lot. I don't think it was just that incident. I have a feeling that there were other things that he saw that he felt he needed to address. And so he did it. Now,
but that's just your gut talking, right? That's not anything you've heard from. Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit of both.
Okay, all right.
Sometimes Belichick does that to the detriment of the team. I mean, he always says, his best tagline is always, we're doing what's best for the team. Well, sometimes he lets things get in the way of that, and I think he did that a little bit with
and by the way, it's using a let's say in this case a guy like Gray, who's, if he's not a rookie, he's close to it as a punching bag or as an example for the veterans. I mean, that's not the worst thing, right?
Right. I mean, like I said, it's in the short term. I think it hurt the team, but I think in Belichick's opinion, he thinks it's probably going to pay dividends.
I remember when he benched Welker for one quarter or the first series of plays in the Super Bowl just because Welker made those foot jokes about Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
I thought that was, I like foot jokes. Do you, Joe?
Yeah, I do too, Steve. I like jokes in general.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I feel weird having this TV here.
Don't worry about it. Just get over
here's
it,
the
Stevie.
thing. Why is the...
By the way, we have some guests out in the hallway.
But have the door closed?
Yeah, but we have some other guests.
Close the door?
Mike,
Thank
can you invite some of those people in? We got our next guest. Thank you.
Oh, really?
Hey, Mark.
What station are you guys on?
WATD radio, and then we are on the whole cable system throughout the world.
We're in a town called Raynham, which is somewhere in Nova Scotia. Thank you.
I know where it is.
Yeah.
See, now I feel more focused.
Yeah, no, so now the shows are all being shown on television.
It's Raynham right outside of Taunton, so there you go. That's the big time.
Exactly. Sweeney knows it from the dog track. So.
Yes. Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah, everything's related.
Absolutely.
So back to football here.
Yes.
So man, I'm looking at the AFC though, and if the Pats can get the home advantage, they're in good shape, right?
Well, no question. I mean, I don't know if they're in good shape, but I think that's going to be critical. And if you have hopes that they're going to go to the Super Bowl, I certainly do not want to go through Denver. I played that AFC Championship game in Denver. We saw how that worked out last year.
Yeah.
So clearly that needs to be back here, and the only way that can happen is if the Patriots win out. Now, having said that, they've got the Jets and they've got the Bills, and the Bills just beat the Packers. So it's not it's certainly not a gimme schedule towards the end of the year here. And the Jets could there's always something always happens in that rivalry. So it becomes, it's not the game that it should be when you look at the records. It's always a little closer than what you.
May I speak?
Yes, you may, Steve. Yes,
all right.
Go
so
ahead.
Every day we here in New England have to get up and we have to say, thank you, God, we live in New England. It's been the most consistent franchise in the last 15 years. We could be in Cleveland, we could be in New York, we could be in all these places. And for those of us who do not live in Raynham, we should thank God that we don't live in Raynham.
As long as we could be in Detroit.
We could be in Detroit.
Yeah.
Do you know Detroit, the cops fire 3 warning shots right into your head?
Oh, my God.
What the heck? Can I make a joke once in a while?
The views expressed by Steve Sweeney are not those of WATD or me, Joe Malone.
Yes, all right.
But anyway.
All right, Tim.
But Detroit, all those teams, it's just bad management.
Bad
right,
management.
Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
We're spoiled rotten.
I don't know if it's bad management or just. I think there's something special going here with the way they have it worked out with Belichick and the ownership and the whoever is the general manager. I think it's really Belichick to begin with. But I mean, you're right. Living in New England, fans are certainly
Thank you,
spoiled.
Tim.
I mean, they have a Super Bowl caliber team every year.
That's right. Thank you, Tim. And have you put together
else in the country?
Have you put together a welcoming committee for me when I buy that house in Hull?
I'm hoping you'll have a nice big housewarming party, and we'll come by and.
I'm going to have a pool, and it's going to
the house.
Yeah, no.
Just think Oakland Raiders.
No, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Sweeney's going to have all his buddies from Charlestown.
Think Oakland
those
Raiders.
who aren't in jail.
Yes.
He's going to have them all down for a big party when he moves in.
Well, this has
Did
been
you make an offer, Steve?
Not yet. I have to check out the Schooner Lounge first to see if I'll be accepted there by you and your drinking buddies.
You'll be a hit in there.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they'll love you in there.
That's right. I fit.
Those are your people.
I fit Hull, Situate. The only place I don't see me in Cohasset.
No, you're right.
No.
You're right.
No.
You're right.
I got to be honest with you. I don't see you in Situate either. I think
Yeah. No, definitely.
I'm so honored today. We have guys that are going to be talking about veteran stuff, but they're well dressed and they wear suits and we have TV cameras. I don't know where I am today. This is like so out of
But you know, Steve, that's what makes life beautiful. You know, different strokes for different.
You know
folks.
what? His unrelenting positive attitude. It's so
I'm
annoying.
very positive,
It's so
and I'll
annoying.
remain positive.
It's so annoying.
And by the way, this is the holiday season.
Yes.
This is Christmas season,
Right.
and I want to say to Tim, to you and your family, Merry Christmas. You'll spend it down there in beautiful sunny Florida, huh, Tim?
Yes, we will.
Wow, you're a lucky guy.
Times like this, no urge to go back to Canton, Ohio?
Actually, I was in Canton, Ohio for Thanksgiving,
Wow. Okay.
I paid my dues.
One parting question, Tim, and it's so important this time of the year. Do we lay the points or take the points Sunday? It's so important that people gamble.
I don't even know what the points are. What are they?
Oh, they're way up there. They're like 9 or 10, I think. Are they playing in New England or Buffalo?
Don't know.
I don't know. I'm just getting over Monday. Do you know what a suitcase bet is, Joe?
No.
A suitcase bet is a bet you make on a Sunday, and you pack your suitcase because if you lose, you got to get out of town. But if you win, you're going on vacation.
I knew a few Waltham buddies who made suitcase bets.
Your people
they weren't even my people.
Your people say,
my people chase them out.
You don't want to limp, do you? You like the way your knees look now? Tim, thank you so much.
No, I get a parting question, too.
Geez.
Now, watch the astute...
Well, I didn't even answer Sweeney's question.
Yeah, see, that's how ADD he is. Go ahead.
No, well, I would not. I would not take the points there. I would go. I think it's going to be a closer game than what anyone thinks.
All right, thank you.
And my question to you is:
yes,
at this juncture, who is the MVP of the NFL in your opinion?
Oh, there's a lot of people talking about J.J. Watt has had such a tremendous year, although the team is not doing well enough. It's all going to depend whether or not they can get into the playoffs, which is looking unlikely.
You know who I like is Sam Huff.
I tell you, who's having a great year is the running back.
Rock star.
Yeah. I know who's having a great year is the running back for Dallas.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he's
yes, he is.
I'd put him on the short
I'd
list.
have to give it to Rodgers, even though I like the Patriots to win everything. I'd have to say Rodgers.
What do you think?
Well, the jury is still out. We'll see how the last two games play out. I think it's still up for grabs. But you're right. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is. The thing I like most about him is that early in the year they had a couple of losses and everybody up there was panicking and very calmly he was on. I heard him doing an interview. I can't remember if it was TV or radio, and he just reached out to the fans and said, "Look, folks, relax."
Yeah. It reminds me, Tim, it reminds me 4 years ago when we first started this show.
Yeah, right.
Sweeney was panicking a little bit. Yeah. The ratings weren't that great.
Yeah.
Now, look, we're on top of the world.
And do you know when Rodgers said relax, he was stoned out of his mind? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Listen, I want to tell you guys something, and it's not comfortable for me to say
Go
this,
ahead.
Joe. Bill Cosby drugged me.
Did he really? Oh my God, Stevie! You got to go public. You got to go public.
I got away with that one. I did Lowell Memorial Auditorium, 1,100 people. I said this could go either way, and they laughed. All right, listen, Tim. Thanks so much.
Tim, thanks for taking time out of your Christmas tree evening.
Yes, thank you.
And Merry Christmas to all the Foxes.
And we're going to be back with your special guests.
I will be back with some special guests who are doing wonderful things with regard to veterans.
And very well dressed.
And those missing in action.
Okay.
All right. Take it away. Mark Varner, who is very, very active with a group called Moore's Marauders, and they are doing the Lord's work. And I'll let Mark describe exactly what their work is. But Mark is a Norwell Fellow who is also a businessman. He is the CEO of Veterans Development Corporation, and we're lucky to have him on the South Shore because, again, he is a high-quality person who's doing great things on behalf of the families who had men and in some cases women missing in action. But Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joe, for having us.
It's great to have you. And if you would, please describe the works of Moore's Marauders.
Sure. We're a organization, nonprofit, that basically goes around the world looking for MIAs. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm a little hoarse today.
That's all right. It's got sort of a nice tone to it.
And basically, I was involved in a mission that kind of touched home here in Boston, where we're looking for the remains of Staff Sergeant William Lynch from Dorchester. And in 2009, I left with a recon team that is comprised of all of the volunteers from Moore's Marauders, and we went to China and went to the prison camp, which is the Mukden prison camp, and we started there and followed the pathway through a lot of historical data that we arranged with the universities over there, and then we ended up finding the actual prison camp where he was housed.
So in terms of the methodology, do you start first with an individual and say, okay, we know enough about where he was and some of the other details that now we're going to try to pinpoint his exact burial place, if you will? Or is this something where you say, gee, during World War II, lots of flights went down, or POWs died in an area, and then you go searching for MIAs in general? I mean, how does that work?
Well, actually, this had a unique twist. The university did some work because the Japanese invaded China, and that's how the partnership from the United States and China became. And when they invaded, they took a lot of POWs, and our guy actually was the only remaining unaccounted for POW.
Wow.
And the Professor Yang Jing, who spearheaded this whole process, did the research through eyewitness accounts and through documentation from the military.
And again, you're sort of dealing with his family at the grandchild level, or what generation is it?
That's correct. Basically, the niece of Staff Sergeant William Lynch was one of the people that we worked with to get DNA. The mission, just to make a quick point, the mission was put on hold for several years because of the strained relationships as political things happen. But now, as of late, which is a big surprise to the people here at the organization, we got the green light to head back in September of 2015.
So this is a huge commitment on your part.
That is correct.
And so in the course of a year, is there a segment of that year that you say, okay, I'm going to travel in order to help fulfill this mission? Or
that is correct, Joe. What we actually did is, when we went over the last time, we did a reconnaissance mission where we basically mapped out the grid coordinate where the burial sites are. And basically the Japanese tortured and killed these POWs and buried them methodically in a grave site. From that, we went to a prison camp where they housed all these prisoners. And while we were there, we uncovered the fact that they had unearthed 11 barrels already in pristine condition. And when I took the pictures and all of the stuff that we brought back, two of our doctors that have the degrees in anthropology basically told us that we think we found a Caucasian male because of the features of the skull. And that got us really excited. And now we're hopefully going to fulfill that mission.
How long has Moore's Marauders been in place?
I think they've been around for about 10 years now. And
so prior to DNA testing and so forth, it probably wasn't possible to do this, correct?
That is correct.
Oh. And how long have you been involved?
I've been there since 2009. I got involved when we built the memorial for Andrew Basevich from Walpole, who died in the Iraq War. And we did some volunteerism. We were right downtown Walpole. We brought back a fountain that hadn't flown water, and the town rallied around us. And then one thing led to another.
And just to digress for a second,
Sure.
if you would, tell us about your company as it relates to veterans, and also introduce the gentleman that you're with.
Sure. Basically, my company is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business that the government in 2003 passed a law giving us a minority status because of our status as a disabled veteran. And from that, we spawned into, which I've done all my life, construction, but now we're working in the federal government with a set-aside program. We do a lot of work in the VA healthcare system in Boston, JP, West Roxbury, Brockton, Bedford. And we're also in a couple of states as well. So we
that is music to my ears that there is a set-aside program for those who have devoted and given of themselves in order to make us all the free living people that we are in this country. So I think veterans ought to be at the front of the list when it comes to those kind of equalizers, if you will, because in the prime of your life, you take time away from your careers, away from your family in order to serve America. And who are you with?
Well, basically right now we have the vice president of the company, Dave Hamlin, who's a retired Command Master Chief, 37 years served in the CB units. And to my right, I have our Chief Operating Officer, Chris Culross.
And I know, Dave, you're a Marine.
Navy.
Navy, I'm sorry.
Navy, CB.
Yeah.
Mark is the Marine.
Mark is the Marine. And
we were actually here early summer to talk about the veteran program and specifically the Valor Act that the governor signed, executive order that provides for the set-aside now.
For the state.
For the state.
It was Governor
level.
Patrick who signed it?
That's correct.
So this is a recent occurrence.
That's correct. So we were invited to come down and talk about that. That program now includes not only the federal level but Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
And you served in Vietnam? Or?
I did. I'm a Vietnam era veteran. Right.
And you were in Lebanon? Or?
2 tours,
wow.
yes.
Gee. And as you now embark again on the mission of Morse Marauders, I mean, that's a huge commitment. And so I can only assume that what inspires you is the loyalty to your fellow soldier, but also the heirs to those individuals?
That is correct. The family is beyond thankful, and we're hoping that we can bring that to closure one way or another.
And again, you feel as though, sort of using the football analogy, you're in the red zone here.
We're in the red zone.
Well, how many are there in terms of soldiers missing in action?
Currently, right now, the statistics tell us 93,000.
Wow. And what are the hopes? What are the goals? To just keep on an annual basis? I mean, what's a good year if you're able to identify? Is it 100 or is it
one? If
wow.
we can bring back one person, that's a win, and that's what we're looking for the city of Boston.
Well, I tip my hat to you, and again, on a business sense, who are is it communities that you look to work with? Is it private business that you do? Where's your sweet spot as a business?
Well, we're mostly in the federal arena for the VA healthcare system because of the set-aside program. That the VA basically gave us 100% of the work at a certain dollar amount.
That's great.
So, and again, we mix it up with the state now, thanks to Governor Patrick, to putting that in.
Well, you know, my man here, Steve Sweeney, does a lot with veterans groups. So, if you ever need a very funny guy to come to any events to promote the cause or whatever, Steve,
yes.
What are some of the organizations you work with?
Well, we did a thing this Veterans Day at the Regent Theater, and we had a lot of groups, veterans helping veterans, and then the Wounded Warriors and a bunch of them, and we brought guys in. And yes, last night I was at the shelter for homeless vets, and we just did a show right in there. So you can never do enough for the vets.
And that is the truth. And I'm glad you guys got to meet, you know, Dave and Mark and Chris.
This movie coming out, Unbreakable, is that the name of it?
Correct.
Yeah, yes. That should be a big thing, huh?
Jeez.
Yeah, that was a tough read.
Yeah. Amazing, inspiring read, though, you know?
Very much so.
Good. And not to, you know, sort of marginalize it down to ethnicity, but he was a good Italian guy.
Was
Steve,
he?
You know, yeah. You like to define certain folks as...
Do you remember when Michael was in the Army and the family didn't want him to go fight for other people? You don't remember that? Michael Corleone.
Yeah, well, you know...
He was a Marine, too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know, that was before he got into the family business.
I'll tell you something that people don't think about. World War II was not a slam dunk.
Oh.
In other words, we look back in history and say, okay, this happened, but we didn't know if we were going to win.
Oh, there were moments when it looked like we were going to lose.
I have letters from my father who fought in the Philippines in World War II. It's just unbelievable. It's riveting. But the families, too. My mother saw my father off at South Station on the train, and she never knew if she'd see him again. I mean, that's the way it was. And then she saw him 7 years later.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, how old were you when you were in Lebanon?
17.
Wow, imagine 17.
Yeah.
Holy smoke. How about you, Dick?
I was 20.
Imagine that. Jeez.
Yeah, I graduated from Wentworth at 19.
Smoke. Wow. Man, oh man, again, thank you for all the service. And we got to have you on more often, because this is kind of a saga that continues to take its course, if you will.
Most definitely.
And so, God willing, you kind of verify and find the remains of Mr. Lynch. What happens next? Do you go on to the next project?
Well, this is going to take some time because of the political ramifications to get, hopefully, if we find him and get the DNA match, we have to get him back.
So, as veterans of the military, what's your take on the crazy world that we're living in now? It's
scary.
It really is, isn't it? Gee, every day you wake up to something different and something more shocking. And you know what we saw in Pakistan today. Oh my God! It's like the rules have been thrown out and any sense of decency, but I guess that's not new either. You know, you point out what was going on in Japan without getting into the gory details,
right.
But it's an awful testimonial to how inhumane people can be.
Correct.
So on a lighter note and a brighter note, everybody's having a good holiday season.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. And from the standpoint of business, you feel like the economy is picking up a little bit?
Oh, yes, most definitely. And I think the VA is doing wonderful things for the veterans.
Is that right?
They're really making
Because a lot of
progress.
what you read, was a dysfunctional organization. So we're seeing an improvement in the performance.
It's a huge uptick.
Yeah.
When we like being part of it.
That's great. That's great. Well, again, I'm so delighted to hear that there are set-asides for veterans, and particularly those who were disabled as a result of their service. And I can't imagine there are too many companies in this state that have a CEO in your situation who is a disabled veteran. Are there many, particularly in the construction field?
We have a bunch now.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been groomed over the last 10 years to get them to that level. And we've helped along the way. Everybody helps each other.
And again, you like living in Norwell?
Love it.
Yeah.
Great town.
It's a gate. You can't wait. What?
You guys know that you're on TV in Raynham, so this is like the biggest event.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, again, Steve spent many painful nights in Raynham at the dog track, But hey, let's put that behind you, Stevie.
All right.
And by the way, Steve wore that Charlestown hockey shirt tonight because he knew we were going to be on TV. By the way, Steve, where's your next gig coming up?
I will be at the Dunkin' Donuts in Somerville. It's on Broadway in Somerville. And then I'm at the Shell Station in Peabody.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'm playing a little fruit stand on the North Shore as well. It's called the Golden Banana.
Oh,
I don't know if you've
beautiful.
ever heard of it.
Things are
Joe.
picking up, huh?
Actually, I'm at Giggles this weekend.
Beautiful.
Are we live in Raynham right now?
Yeah, no. This will all be edited. So,
Why give out my gigs, Joe?
Well, because
What's
we're on the
point?
radio live, Stevie.
What's the
Remember
point,
the
Joe?
radio is live. Just because we're on TV now doesn't mean that the radio has gone dead.
Well, okay.
All right? So I have a trivia question for you, Steve.
Yes.
All right? See if we can get this straight, and this goes out to everybody else.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Name, and we'll go to sports, all right?
All right.
Name Babe Pirelli's number. What number did he
I'm
win?
not
Okay,
good
you can't
at
go
numbers.
back, all right?
No,
Okay.
I'm not good at numbers.
All right, so we got to wipe that. So the numbers. Anybody else? Okay. Name the number that.
I just said I'm not good at numbers, Senator.
That's right.
Senator, yeah, I was the button man, Senator.
Yeah. Senator Kennedy, I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir. What is it, yes, Joe? What is it, Joe?
Do you work for the working people of
That's
America?
right. I want to talk about working families.
Okay.
I don't have one, but I want to talk about working families.
And I also want to ask Jack Nicholson if he'd step up to the mic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And can you handle the truth? That's what I want you to do.
You can't handle the truth.
Okay, very good.
Yes, that's right. You can't even come close.
Bingo.
Yes.
Bingo. Okay, so anyway, so no. On the trivia front, let me come up with something that is at
No
least
numbers,
not a
Joe.
number.
All right.
It's not a number.
No numbers.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Name 5 Patriot coaches over the years.
Mike Holloway.
Wow, that's good. Ooh,
Raymond Berry.
Raymond Berry, very good. Very good.
Dick McPherson.
Very good. Wow, 2 more.
Bill Parcells.
Oh, okay, he's home free.
Bill Belichick.
Oh, okay. Technically, you were wrong, but we're going to give it to you.
All right, okay.
Okay,
Go ahead.
good. All right, another trivia question. Now, this goes out to all of you.
All of
okay?
us.
Yes.
This is
okay.
my team right here.
Yeah. Okay.
What is this, like Family Feud? Okay, this is the team.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
let's
right.
do it. Let's do it.
This is Team Sweeney here.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Team Steve.
You want to stay with Patriots or you want to go to one of the other categories?
I'll leave it up to my team. What do you want to go to?
Stay with the Patriots.
Yeah,
you
let's
would
stay
go
with the
Red Sox?
Movies.
Go
Go
Bruins?
movies. I know movies.
Okay, let's stay
You
Patriots.
guys good with movies?
I'm good with movies.
You good with movies?
He's good with movies.
Sure.
Home movies. Home movies.
All right. So you
He's funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. You want to go movies?
Movies.
Okay, movies. Let's see here. Let's see.
What's the prize,
here.
by the way?
The prize is
Gift
these
certificate?
guys all get to go to Giggles for free.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
They can go for free anyway. Yes.
Okay. In the movie,
Yes.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
Who played the wife of Jimmy Stewart?
That was Lionel Barrymore.
No.
Lionel Barrymore.
No. Kevin, I'm trying to read his lips.
Lionel Barrymore.
No, the wife, Donna Reed. Donna Reed. All right.
Sam Snead. All right. Okay.
Listen to this beautiful music,
All right. We
right?
have to go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
guys. Thank you. very much.
thank you again.
Thank you, Joe.
To the folks at Veterans Development Company, thank you very much for the great work you're doing. And there's a website that they can go to for the Moors Marauders. What is that, Mark?
That's mooresmarauders.com.
mooresmarauders.com. Check it out. These guys are doing the Lord's work. Sleigh bells in the snow. Big chorus now. Here we go. You'll hear. Come on, Kevin.
All right.
Silver bells, silver bells. Come on, sweetie. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling. That's right. Welcome back to Sweeney and Malone. We're in the spirit.
That's enough.
We're in the spirit. We're in the spirit,
please don't
baby. We
ruin
got
the
Mike
music.
from Raynham on the camera doing a fabulous job. We got Larry Legend on the
Yeah.
board.
And on the phone.
Yeah,
it's gonna
the
be
sheriff.
Mikey Bellotti.
Exactly.
Larry, are you paying attention? Is Mike there? Mike.
Yes, can you hear me?
Mike Bellotti. I want to introduce a guy who I'm going to get serious here, Joe. Hold on.
Go ahead.
all right?
Go ahead.
This guy is one of the finest people. I just can't tell you how many things he's done for the community of Quincy. He's done for me in my personal life. That's it. That's enough ass kissing, but I just
That's
wanted
enough,
to
but thank you.
get that out. He's also a terrific analyst, very funny man, and I am doing a very important gig for him at the Nickerson Post in the middle of absolutely nowhere in Quincy for some stupid baseball
It's
league. Right?
Squantum, Massachusetts, which we really appreciate. You're going to really help
Hey,
make
Mike,
the kid.
I would like to ask you something I've never asked you. Now, growing up as your dad, Frank Bellotti's son, who were some of the people you met? Politicians and stuff.
I don't know. Delahunt was over the house all the time. Joe, good friend of yours, Bill Delahunt.
Oh, yeah. Bill's a good man.
They used to run together.
And
Yeah, it's funny. He didn't have a lot of politicians in the over the house. You know,
How many kids in your family, Mike?
12. I'm the 11th.
11th out of 12 kids, Joe.
wow.
Your
holy
people.
smokes.
Yeah, 7 girls, 5 boys. And we always had at least 2 or 3 German Shepherds.
Yeah, you know what? I'm
We did.
I'm 7 out of 7 kids, and we were never without a German Shepherd growing up. That was
Yes.
a riot. My mother, who originally was reluctant about it, my brothers wanted one, so then she fell in love with the first one. As the first one was getting old, she then got a puppy, so she transitioned in. I don't think we ever went without and they're the most loyal faithful dogs you could
they
ever
were
ask
great
for.
dogs, weren't they? And they were great about kids.
They were very popular in the days of Rin Tin Tin.
Yeah.
And then also collies were very popular in the days of Lassie.
Yeah, and Flipper.
But then
Dolphins were popular.
all the scandal involving Lassie. Lassie was drugging puppies who were trying to move up in the dog world.
Really? Wow. Did this come out in the Sony?
This is the Bill Cosby kind of.
Oh yeah, we're gonna hear more about it now.
Hey, now listen, Mike. I want to ask you something. You started as a state rep, and now you're the sheriff. How long have you been the sheriff of Norfolk County?
Okay, 15 years, Steve. 15? I'm in the like Joe McDonald. I'm wrapping up my term. We'll be on the ballot a year from September. This coming September again in November. And for me, it will be 18 years, I guess.
18 years, and yet he's a young guy. I remember him walking across the parking lot. I was working at Nick's Comedy Stop. The guy was going to New England Law School. I handed him $1. I thought he was homeless.
I remember that night.
Yeah.
You were Larry.
And now he's the sheriff, and I work at the jail a couple of days a week. We do groups and AA meetings and stuff. But it's so funny, Joe. This is the other side of football, okay? Because these guys come in and they have the detail down at Foxborough Stadium, and some of the stories, people getting, they have to arrest people getting so drunk. Best seats in the house. They never see the game. I mean, you hear all the stories.
So wait a minute. So when you say they have the detail, it's your deputies, it's your guards that work the details at the stadium?
Yeah, I would say about 30 work every game. We do the transportation because there's such a small complement in terms of police department, police officers in Foxborough. It's all the towns, and we're invited in. Our guys go to what they call the Police Intermittent Academy. And they do an extra 300-400 hours of schooling in the Mass General Law.
Mike, which fans are the worst?
I don't know. I go to one game a year, and usually, Steve, what game were last? Chicago? We
went to the Chicago game with the best seats in the house, 4 rows above.
My neighbor has 4 seats, second row, 50-yard line.
But I'm a fanatic, and I've been there for Pittsburgh. That was pretty rough. I think of all the fans, though, Philly's got the reputation. Then they kind of try to live up to it.
Oakland's got a bad rep too.
Oh, Philly, yeah. I was at a Spectrum's game against 76ers. They were tough. Those fans.
Is it true there used to be an actual jail in the Philly stadium?
I think there might still be.
Is it true that the fans in Philly actually booed Santa Claus?
They threw they threw snowballs at him. Yeah. Mike, we were reminiscing last week, Mike, when you talk about the Larry Bird days. Mike Lynch was on from Channel 5, and we were talking, though, also about how blessed we were to grow up during the Johnny Most era, right? He could make someone just hacking the Celtic on the wrist, while the guy was taking a shot. You would have thought the guy. Yeah, right.
I don't believe it. He's mugging him. He's mugging him.
He's beating him.
Moses Malone. He's mugging him. All right, fiddles and diddles. All right, here comes Vern.
Yeah, he could change his voice on a dime.
Do you guys?
And you took it for granted.
Oh, I know. There'll never be another one like him.
But do you remember?
Remember Bob Wilson for the Bruins?
Yeah.
But do you remember? I was working over at RKO or HDH at the time. I was doing a show with Jerry Williams and Eddie Engelman. Anyway, Johnny Most stopped smoking, and he lost that voice.
Really?
It was weird. It was like, here they go up, taking the ball up. And it wasn't, and they go taking the ball up. That was all from smoking.
He was a classic.
Oh, my God.
Now, Mike, what is the word? Recidivism?
Recidivism.
Yes. Now, I went to a reentry conference that you had about that. What is the rate of inmates that go back? Can you pronounce that word, Joe?
Recidivism. Recidivism.
What is the...
Well, based on national studies.
Hey, Mike, by the way, Joey Voices just walked in.
You don't have to announce everybody that
Howard Cosell used to do that. Look who just walked in. Remember Howard would do that?
Yeah. Joe, we're trying to focus.
Yeah.
We got 5 ADDs.
Yeah, Joey Voice.
So listen, answer.
Go ahead. Recidivism.
And the people don't want to hear that. So basically, about I'd say 2 out of 3 come back. Within 5 years.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh my God!
Did you hear that, Joe?
Oh. I was going to ask you.
2 out of 3 guys come back.
What's the biggest difference? You've been there for 18 years. What do you see as the biggest difference from the first year you were there to now? I mean, obviously,
it's really it's the these younger kids getting at the pills.
Yeah, and many of them heroin, right?
Yep. And I think what we remember years ago was people looked at heroin. They were really down their luck. The image was somebody in an alley. That poor, kind of junkie kind of image. And now it's kids who somehow get their hands on OxyContin or codeine or different type of these incredibly addictive drugs. And then, because of an injury, or they grab them on the medicine cabinet. But now, and then after they get addicted to it, and they can't afford the $70 for a pill, they can get a bag of heroin for like $10.
Yeah, but Mike, listen, let me tell you something. That I run into more guys who just are firefighters or whatever, iron workers. They get injured, and these pills are so powerful. They are so powerfully addictive, and the drug companies are making a fortune on these.
Oh yeah. They
do not have to be an addict.
Self-interest or conflict interest. I mean, the healthcare industry is so big. What's the incentive to even cure anything anymore, or not to mass-produce these drugs and get them in the hands of many people? It's crazy.
Now,
something's got to be done. It's an epidemic.
Now, I always ask this of Joe, because Joe has said, finally, he's the Elizabeth Warren of WATD. He's not running for president. He's not getting in politics. But Joe, I mean, Mike, is this the final resting place for you, being the sheriff? Is this what you want to do the rest of your life?
By the way, that's a kind of a depressing way to ask that question. Jeez.
All right, let me rephrase it.
How old are you, Mike?
Joe knows. Hey, Joe knows. You never say never, right, Joe?
Absolutely.
Well, never. The opportunity. And as you get older, I'm 51 now, and I have 3 kids. Youngest 11. The other one's at Raynham College. The middle one at North Quincy High. Your reasons for doing things, and Joe knows this better than anybody else, changes as you get older. My father used to say, when you first get in, it's when you're younger, it's a lot of ego and ambition, and then as you get older, it's really about you feel like you know what it takes to do the right thing. So anyone's been this long, if you haven't killed yourself politically one way or the other, and it's so hard to survive in this incredibly this world of media and social media and people just being kneecapped all the time in many different ways. So if some other challenging position, mayor of Quincy or Congress, I wouldn't rule it out. I don't think I'd want to run for an executive office on the state level, because I feel like I'm doing that now, and I have an opportunity to have an impact in 28 communities. An executive office, and be able to make up my mind to do certain programs. So, but then again, I mean, Joe has been through this. It's tough. The kids are at an age where they're getting older, but I don't know if you'd like to check out and go down to Congress right now, or do something that would require more traveling around the state.
I want one politician to get up and say, listen, I want to run because I want to spend less time with my family.
Yeah, see,
I want to.
See, Steve has often thought about running.
Wonderful woman who's been behind me, that rhymes with witch, who forced me into this.
Yeah.
Let's hear some honesty.
But Steve,
yes,
maybe you ought to launch that candidacy, but it's not for everyone. Now I'm hearing Mike talk.
Yes.
And I'm reminded, when you mentioned your dad, he had the great line. He said, a young politician wakes up every morning, rushes to the newspaper looking for his or her name. Once you become an older politician, you wake up and say, oh, no, I hope my name's not in that newspaper.
Exactly.
And truer words were never spoken.
I had the same experience at Barnes & Noble today. I was trying to write this movie, and these people recognized me. In the old days, I'd say, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But I was actually trying to write the movie.
Yeah, so you probably rudely snubbed them and said, please.
No, he definitely did.
Yeah, he definitely did. We know that,
I'll
right?
tell you what I said. I said to this person, I said, I cannot tell you how boring you are right now, and how painful it is to listen to you.
Yeah.
I can't begin to describe it.
Have you ever seen people approach Steve? I mean, I know you get it. Right? You must all the time, plus all your work in the media. But I'll be with Steve Sweeney, and people say, I swear, this is no lie. I saw you in 1985 in the Comedy Connection. as if he's going to remember them.
Yeah, absolutely right. Remember, I was wearing a blue suit.
You know what I say? You know what I say to people? I say that's all I think about that night when you were there.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
I heckled you. Like,
I've been waiting to meet you.
By the
again.
way, Mike Bellotti, Sheriff of Norfolk County, how do you unwind? What do you do to relax? Because it's going to be a fairly stressful job, right? Making sure.
I take the dog for a walk. I was playing pickup hockey for about 10 years, and then I gave that up stupidly about 4 or 5 years ago. That was great. You know, the guys in the jail would rent it out of ice, or would play one of those leagues, you know, the Lobiston leagues. I was so sure. That was incredible. And then, I guess I just hang out. I'm doing a lot of cooking now, Joe.
Do you really?
I got to do a little Italian cooking.
All right, so you got to come down to Cafe Malone, my house in Situate.
Yes, by the way, this is a great time.
I know you're a better cook.
No, we can cook together. I'd love to do it, Mike.
This is a great time to announce.
Yeah.
Joe Malone is having a Christmas party. Everybody within the TV
7-course meal. Yeah.
The TV
from
area
Raynham. Yeah, come
and
on
the radio
down.
audience,
There's Jim Dooley from Northeast Airline.
The address is.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm not going to give out the address because you know why? I don't have the exact date yet. When I get the date, Steve, you'll be the first to know. Right?
I'll be the last to know. I've been snubbed so many times by Eddie's party.
Oh, come on.
Now listen, I want to
Joey Voices. You've been there, right?
Now listen,
Mike. Yeah.
Mike, I know you.
Let me throw a name at Joe. Joe, you know young John Canterbury?
Young John?
No, young Joe. He's a Situate boy.
What's the last name? What's the last name?
Now.
What's the last name?
Johnny Canterbury.
Yeah, I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah. I think your son actually went away with one of my best buddies, Chip Canterbury.
Yeah.
His son's in your house a lot. He's a brickie now.
That's right. Yeah.
You know Johnny. Yeah.
Oh, my house is like it's like Boston Garden.
All right, that's a minute of radio time. We'll never get.
No. But we're going to a certain place.
Really.
But here's the point, Steve. Mike and I, and this is a very public thing. Mike, can I'm going to put this out to you. Steve and I are very strong supporters of Friendship Home, which is a great home for the developmentally disabled in Norwell, right? So every year we auction off dinner at my house for 10 people. It usually becomes a dinner for 20. But can we this year say it's going to be prepared by Mike Bellotti and Joe Malone? Okay.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. All right, we got a deal here. That's great.
Okay.
But neither of you can touch the. That's for them.
No,
don't,
I'm in
don't
on
eat
that.
the food.
All right, and then we'll get Sweeney. Steve, will you jump in and do a little comedy?
No.
Okay, very good.
No,
yeah,
I'll
just
eat.
as well. Joey Voices, you and Joey Voices is in.
No. And
good.
well, I want people to support my cause, the Animosity Home, the unfriendly home.
Yeah.
Listen, Mike, before I let you go, I want to get your take on the presidential politics. Today in the Herald, there seems to be, or maybe it's mythological, a groundswell for Granny Warren, Elizabeth Warren, the Cherokee Indian.
God help.
It's amazing. I don't know. I mean, she's saying she's not running, but obviously the most left of the side, the left of the party, they want her in. They feel like Hillary is not pure enough for them at this point. So maybe it's a tickle to Hillary, but I don't see her getting in. Do you, Joe?
So here's my take on it. There are so many people with vested interests in getting her in. No, or getting someone else in other than Hillary.
Yeah.
Right, because they're not on that bus.
If you're in the media, you need to have a contest, right? You can't just have Republicans and she gets a free walk. If you own a hotel in Des Moines or in Concord, New Hampshire, you need a race. If you're selling TV time in the media, you need a race. So I think it's inevitable. They're going to find a horse, and she's just kind of emerged as the one who is the most likely opponent.
Do you think it's sexist to call her a horse?
They need a horse. No, I don't think it's sexist. I think it's
just called her a horse.
I think it's a term used in politics, Steve. And don't try to back me into that corner.
But no, I mean, she definitely has her believers.
Oh yeah, hey, she's got a populist message, and
It would be scary out there. I think she'd be someone to contend with.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's got 300 Obama supporters, staffers and consultants and so forth have signed on to support her.
I will say this on the air in front of everybody. If Elizabeth Warren becomes president, I will jump off the Cape Cod Bridge. Okay.
All right. Wow. Well, I want to know.
I do not want to listen to her. I don't like the way Scott Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott Brown.
So here's what I want. I want to know what Jack Slade thinks. Is that his name? What's
Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade, U.S. Army retired.
Yeah. All right.
Now listen.
Jeb Bush.
Now what about what about in the Republican side, Mike? Who do you now? Joe's so afraid to make a stand about
Joe knows
anything.
that and I, but geez, they.
Who's the next candidate?
They're in a tough spot because, the folks who really represent a lot of the social issues that don't work in a general election have the biggest opportunity to do well in a primary. Maybe Jeb Bush, through name recognition and popularity and
fundraising,
like the winner can keep those guys down. But look what happened last election. Mitt Romney had to move so far to the right in that primary that when it came down to the general election, it's not easy to repair.
Either way, then I'm going to kill myself because if Jeb Bush gets elected, I will kill myself.
All right, Stevie,
we can't do better than Bushes
but Steve, let me just mention one thing there.
Yes.
Eisenhower, 2 terms, 8 years. Okay.
Yes.
Then you have Kennedy/Johnson, 2 terms, 8 years.
Yes.
Then you have Nixon. So you're going Republican, Democrat, Republican. Following Nixon is Jimmy Carter, who should have had 8 years, but he was so inept. He got one term,
Yeah.
okay? But then after Jimmy Carter, you end up with Ronald Reagan for 8 years. So then you get Bush, who's an exception because Ronald Reagan was the Superman, so Bush was son of. So, but then you go back to Clinton 8 years, back to George W. for 8, and then to Obama 8 years. There's a pendulum effect. So the pendulum should swing back to the Republicans. And, Mike makes a good point. You can't go so far to the right, but I think Republicans, and the reason why you get this pendulum effect is a lot of people have been out of power for 8 years, whether they be the Democrats or the Republicans. They're less ideological and more practical, and then as a result, they end up winning. So,
well, that's a brilliant analysis.
Right.
Thank you.
The Republicans are going to go the way of the Whigs. They're going to be extinct. Why? Because the demographic of the Democrats is lower and the population of the United States is more colored. If you look at the Republican convention, it was all old white people.
But that's the Jeb Bush effect, by the way. Married to a Hispanic.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's gonna help in that respect. Maybe they end up with a running mate. He gets it in terms of you have to be more than an old white male party.
Why are you pointing to me?
No, I'm not, Steve. And by the way, the tile guy just entered the boat.
Tile guy. Like gay marriage. The next generation, they don't care about it.
They don't care about gay marriage.
They don't care about those types of issues.
Of course not.
When you run national those issues, it's a real turnoff.
Well, I think that, and I hope you take this the right way, having you as the sheriff, Mike, is a complete waste. I think we need you in a bigger office.
I like it. No, you know what? But you're young still. 52 is young because Oprah says
he's a great
it's
sheriff.
the new 42.
If he wants to be a sheriff, that's fine. I always loved Wyatt Earp. I loved Doc Holliday. I loved all those sheriffs.
Who was the sheriff in Gunsmoke?
Matt Dillon.
Yeah, Matt Dillon. Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin.
There was Joe McDonald.
Yeah, from Plymouth County. Yeah.
He's the president of that association, and very articulate. He's got the district attorney background, and
is this a good person?
I can tell you something. Having been at the jail for 2 years now, there isn't one person that works there as a corrections officer or anything else.
And by the way, it
that
just
fits
struck me.
the stereotype.
Joe McDonald wasn't Country Joe and the Fish. That was Joe McDonald too, right? So he should be Country Joe McDonald, right?
And he also started. He also started a little hamburger stand in California, which we now know as McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
And he also had a farm.
Did he really?
E-I-E-I-O. Isn't that true, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Mike, you're with me. Now listen. Now everybody.
Listen, save your good material for the AAU baseball fundraiser, okay?
We're doing a fundraiser.
We want original material at the Nickerson Post.
And Mike,
150 Quincy overly intoxicated folks that will be there by 10 o'clock.
Now listen, I am doing this.
By the way, do you need a Frank Sinatra sound-alike? I'll come. I'll bring the. Maybe. All right.
Now, this is
Joey Voices. You in?
This is exactly what did not get exposed in the CIA.
Light painted kites.
The CIA,
those days and nights.
The controversy about the CIA. They never mentioned his singing.
Yeah.
really led to Osama bin Laden.
You're right. No, they somehow nixed that from the.
Now
thank
listen,
God.
the reason I'm doing
they would bring me in, Mike, to sing to the Gitmo.
The detainees.
The detainees.
They were begging to be waterboarded. They were begging to be waterboarded. Now listen, Mike, the reason I'm doing the baseball fundraiser is so that I can play with these 13-year-olders. I want to be the third baseman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are a third baseman.
All right, Mikey. Hey,
That's
listen,
the deal.
thanks so much for taking time out of your schedule. We really appreciate it. We'd
Merry
love to get-
Christmas.
I got to come down there. Joe, can you put me on the that auction
The
item,
friendship poem. You're on, baby. You are on.
Baby.
All right. This is going to be an auction item of all auction items, and we'll do all the Italian classic dishes. You know, and I got a nice kitchen to cook in, Mike. So we'll do it up. Bring your bride with you. It'll be a lot of fun. In fact, we got to get you to that gala. It's like the first week in March. There's about 800 people at Lombardo's. They sell it out a month in advance. It's really cool.
That's my county in Randolph.
Yeah, it's right in your backyard.
Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, yeah, okay, good. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Merry
All right,
Christmas,
Mike. Thank you. All
Merry
right, let's get to our other guests. You ready?
Yeah.
All right,
Go
we
ahead.
got Joey Voices.
Yeah.
And we've got a novelist, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Right
that
into
would
the
be
mic.
novelist Kevin Simmons.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
Great voice.
Yeah, by the way, Kevin is a trained singer, right?
Yes.
So we've got three great singers here.
Absolutely.
Joey Voices.
I don't know about
Kevin
me, but
Simmons.
I
Thank you.
Joe Malone.
Thank you very much. Yeah. But hey, my man, Larry.
Larry's passed
Yeah,
out.
play number 7 for a little while. Kick 7 in here just to get people in the mood. Listen how beautiful this is. This thing went right to the top of the charts here. Tile guy, I think you'll like this. All right, this is this is my backup band. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Okay. Listen to that sax. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Does it get you in the mood, Stevie? Yeah, you know, you and your girl in front of a fireplace. Thank you, Larry.
Oh, that's a great version. Who is that?
Is that you?
Yeah,
That's
me.
Joe.
Yeah.
Is that you?
That's me, yeah.
That was awful.
Thank you. You liked it until you knew it was me.
That was good.
Yeah,
That
thank you.
It was good.
All
Listen,
fun,
I
all
want to
fun.
talk to you about
Yes,
your
sir.
book.
Yes, sir. Books.
How many?
The fourth is coming out in January, February.
Okay, how many pages?
Each one is about 300 pages, 350.
Let me ask you something,
Yes,
Joey
sir.
Voices and Joe Malone.
Yeah.
Doesn't it blow you away that anybody can write that amount of pages?
I love it.
I love it, too.
I'm impressed, and
Yeah. Even
I
if
can't
it-
wait to read them.
Even if it stinks. you know.
Yeah, hopefully.
Do you
it does.
feel good when you finally finished it?
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
just
feels-
look at it.
I go and my wife gives me a towel and I cry in the bathroom.
Do you really?
No.
I bet you do. No. Do you
Well, accused
actually
me of wearing a skirt last
do,
week. So
do you actually write romantic novels?
I
That's
write.
what Joe said.
Joe, what can I say? No, actually,
I mean,
they're
that wasn't
thrillers.
inaccurate, was it? It's
No,
true.
they're
right?
called romantic thrillers, Steve. In other words, they got a little romance, they got a lot of gunshots and all that kind of thing, and they're also mystery.
Wow.
Yeah.
And who is your publisher?
Place called the Wild Rose Press in New York. They won the New York Publishers Award 6 years in a row as the best small publisher in America.
Wow. Now, do you do readings from your novels?
Yes, as a
Signed
matter of
book?
fact, I brought 7 or 8 tonight. No, yes, I do.
So,
Now, how do you like that experience?
I love it. I did a lot of public speaking when I was, and I had a real job in the real world, and so I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me that much.
Do you sit down every day and write?
Absolutely not. I don't have any discipline at all. If the other night Bogey was on in Sahara, remember that great World War II movie?
Yeah.
So I was at my computer and I immediately stopped and turned on Bogey. I don't have as much discipline as I should. I should have about 7 books out there now.
So speaking of which,
Yes.
what are some of the inspirations you have? I mean, are there movies that you say, "Wow, this is I want to write a book that's in keeping with this movie," or are there books that you say, this is a role model for me?
I think I told you, I went to a conference. The first book is actually about witches. And I went to a conference in Washington 5 years ago, and all that the people in the national level were talking about was witchcraft and vampires and zombies and that kind of thing. So I came home and I said to my wife, this book is going to be about witches.
Oh.
And there was a witch on Cape Cod who was a high priestess, and I went and I spent some time finding out about witches, and it did. And
have you ever been to Alex's in Stoughton?
Yes, I have. I'm right. My Joan, you didn't hear that, did you? No.
He admitted it. Have you been to the Tile Show House?
I have.
On
Absolutely.
Fridays, they've got topless dances there.
So which day at the Tile Show? So you just started writing 5 years ago?
No, actually, more like 10 years. I wrote in college, and I wrote a lot when I was in business, but I never wrote a novel.
Well, how can you say you're not disciplined? 4 books.
Amazing.
Could you write that? 4 books?
No. I wish I could. Jeez.
Do you just kind of get caught up in the writing process?
Oh, absolutely. First thing,
it's like working out, right?
It is, which I used to do.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning and the last thing at night, what you think about is what you're doing with the plot and the characters and all those kind of things. Yeah, it's kind of scary sometimes.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you.
And how did you get a publisher?
I just kept sending in submissions, which is the perfect name.
Did you get the traditional rejection slip?
Oh, my God. My mentor, who was the president of a big writing organization, said, "You are never a really seasoned writer until you can wallpaper your whole house with rejection slips."
Did you ever hear the story about this person sent in a short story by Ernest Hemingway, and it got rejected?
That's funny, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Have you heard that story?
No.
They said, no, it's too brief. It's something to this, to that. So how many books have you sold?
In the thousands. It's takes, trying to think. I think I told you the second one called Out of the Storm. It's a contemporary thriller, and a lot of it sort of is very much like the marathon thing, but I finished it a year before the marathon thing, in that the bad guys try to frighten Americans by attacking their institutions. Mm-hmm. Mine actually takes place on Cape Cod, but in answer to your question...
So they attack like the Christmas tree shop?
Jeez, I never thought of it. Maybe I could do a rewrite. No.
Giggles. They go after Giggles in Saugus.
They attack a marina down there where the hero is taking over. But that one is sold somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000, which is not really an awful lot in the book. Though altogether, for 10,000 to 20,000 books.
There's so many books, though. I was just at Barnes and Noble today. The way that the biggest marketing thing used to be get on the Today Show. That would sell you the books.
Oprah, too. Oprah recommended. Yeah. And then Sweeney Malone.
Sweeney Malone.
If you get the...
I did. My website last week, we went from getting an average of 3 hits a day to about 300.
There you go. All right. Well, let's give out the website.
www.KSymmons.com.
SYMMONS.
Do you write on a computer or do you?
Yes. Oh, yes, on a computer. Yeah. It's because I make a lot of mistakes, and when I was in the Army, I only typed with 4 fingers. I was in the office.
So do you do the sex scenes? I mean, are there romantic scenes?
Oh God, yeah.
So how deep do you, if you pardon the?
I'm sorry.
How hot do the scenes get?
They get fairly hot.
So
yes.
Okay. All right. See, Steve.
Can we say the word?
Well, you know what? Here's what I want to do.
You just did.
To all the children out there, because we have a big listenership.
Yes.
To all the children under the age of 16.
16, don't buy my books.
Don't buy the books. Don't buy the books because it's not appropriate.
That was what was great about what was the big one about the wizard? Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yes.
Got kids reading.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely. That was great. I thought you were going to say 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Gay. That was co-written. Did you write co-written?
So Joey Voice is here, right?
Yeah.
And Joey is a songwriter and an entertainer. So you guys,
where are you playing this weekend?
We got a lot of creative people.
I'm not playing this weekend.
All right, that's it. This is Christmas, and once it gets into Christmas season, Joe, do you ever do an imitation of a well-known voice doing a Christmas song?
I do. Burl Ives.
Really?
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
Very good.
I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Wow,
and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Everybody!
Hey,
oh, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you. Kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Burleigh.
Oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year.
Bravo. Bravo.
Hey, that's great.
That was.
So I do a little Bing Crosby.
Go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Okay. This is Bing Crosby. Now I'm going to home after singing White Christmas, and I'm going to give my son a little bang on the head. I had a line that Jay Leno called me up. He said, "That's a great joke." This was the joke. I said, when this first abuse came out, the whole thing, he said, I said, Bing Crosby's son, he was on TV. He said, my father used to hit me. I said, hey, join the club, kid. My father used to break your father's records over my head.
Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see?
Great. So Joey and I, this is a first.
Yeah.
I am going to open for Joey Voices at the Venus 2. Look at this poster. This is fantastic. Steve Sweeney and Joey Voices, and I'm wearing the hat. That's me with the hat.
Okay, nice.
And
nice.
when
That's
is
a great
this?
picture.
Does anybody have their glasses? Let's see if I have it. This is going to be, we're going to do it outdoors in the middle of the winter. Saturday, January 31st at 7:30 at the Venus Flytrap Restaurant.
No.
Intravenous. The Intravenous Restaurant. At the Venus 2, Ocean Street. This is going to be an amazing night because I'm a big fan of Joey Voices.
Likewise.
And I'm gonna open for him.
No, that's great.
I'm gonna be the opening act. I
Well, you
haven't
know
done
what?
that in years.
May I suggest?
Yes.
Honestly,
This is news
why
to
don't
me.
why don't we produce a show that you guys are doing the Venus?
Yes.
Why don't we produce a show at the River Club?
Yes.
I would love to see if we can get like Peter Wolf to come do his solo stuff. You know, he's
my God.
unbelievable.
He is
right?
unbelievable.
Yeah,
He's one of the great performers.
That is such a hidden gem, and everything he did with the Giles Band,
Yeah.
everybody knows. But the stuff that he's done as a solo artist is tremendous.
Can the tile guy and I do a duet?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Are you singing?
Yeah, Tile Guy, you want to sing a
Go
song?
ahead, sing.
The river?
Tile, though your heart is breaking, tile, even though it's aching. When there are cracks in your shower, you'll get by. If you tile when you're feeling sorrow, tile will grow tomorrow.
Joe, you know what?
Wow.
That was funny.
Thank you very much.
That was very funny.
Sweeney gave me the touche.
Congratulations. Look at that picture.
Yeah.
I'll put it up to the camera. That's Joey Voices and me.
That's a great picture. Where was that taken?
This is right outside of the venue
Wow.
of the Venus 2. You can see
The water in the back.
you can see the bottle being whipped right past me.
Yeah. By the way, how nice are the people at the Venus, though? Huh?
They're awesome. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we've been very
Janie
blessed.
Sullivan is the best.
We've been very blessed. All those places that we did, the locations.
And
at.
here's the funny thing. I was always asked back.
Yeah. As opposed to what?
You.
Why do you think that was?
That's beautiful.
You want me to be honest?
Of course, always.
My bar tab was maybe, whatever.
Yeah.
Yours?
Yeah.
There was one point where they ran out of vodka.
When Sinatra played at the Sands,
Yes.
it was very similar, but
Right.
they knew at the Sands that they were getting something historic. Okay,
Right.
they were getting a
So you at the Fords in
performance.
Norwell, you at the Fords
Yeah.
in frickin' Norwell
Yeah.
is equivalent to Frank Sinatra at the Sands.
very
Las
well,
Vegas.
very relatively speaking, yeah. And
We-
by the way, I don't know whether I mentioned it, but
What about the
Frank
dog
Sinatra?
pound? Yes.
Frank Sinatra turned 99 on
He's
Sunday.
dead, Joe.
Well, I'm in denial.
His corpse.
I am in
His
denial.
corpse is 99.
But he lives on. I mean, Tom Menino passes away. What do they play when he leaves
My Way.
Yeah. All right.
No one ever thinks of me when Ted Kennedy or Menino passes away. How much material
you're right.
I lose.
No, you're right. Gone. I know it.
Sad.
I know it. I know it.
Isn't that sad?
It really is. Kevin White, gone.
Kevin White.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Cardinal Cushing, gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
I know.
Jesus. Yeah.
Howard Cosell,
Gone.
you dug you dug him up.
Yeah.
Every impression you asked me to do,
I know.
the person is dead.
Steve, back in the whatever it was,
Yeah.
the 90s, he'd do the Cardinal Cushing thing. Give us a little Cardinal Cushing.
And the baby John. Hey,
No,
You know
in the
what's
name of the Father.
In the name of the Father.
It's down the
You know what's a
stretch,
funny thing? Maybe you find this, Joey. You'll do a guy that people don't know who he is, but they'll laugh anyway.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone in your act like
Because
that?
they're laughing at you doing it because your disposition's funny.
Well, who do you do in your act that people laugh at that they don't know who they like? I'll do Jimmy Cagney, and people don't even know who he is.
Well, there's younger people in the audience that don't know who I'm doing. If I do like Joe Cocker, a lot of the younger people don't know who that is. I do Joe Cocker at Woodstock.
I don't know who that is. What does Joe Cocker sound like?
What would you do if I said how to do? Would you down walk out on me?
That's right. That's right. Okay.
And a lot of the younger people don't know who that is.
See, I could listen to that all night.
I could too. Yeah. The more.
On the other hand, when I listen to you sing, I lose the will to live.
And there's method to my madness.
Very good. Another good.
How
about Michael McDonald? Is he here?
That's your favorite singer, Michael McDonald.
You don't know me, but I'm your brother.
That's right. Yeah, baby.
I was raised here in this living hell.
Let me ask you something, because you're a singer besides being an impressionist.
I was a singer first.
See, now a guy like Michael McDonald, you immediately know who he is.
Yeah.
You say, "Wow, there it is. There's Michael McDonald."
Yeah.
That's right.
How about Neil Young? 24 and there's so much more. Here's what's wrong with
see the needle and the damage.
Yeah, but you know what? He's brilliant.
Oh, I love Neil Young.
Here's the problem with the music business today, okay? A Neil Young, a Bob Dylan, a Van Morrison, they would never make it. Why? Because they can't be on American Idol. They can't be on The Voice because they're not great-looking guys.
And Kate Smith, forget about it. You're not a hot-looking
There's no business like show.
Yeah. God bless. Remember before the Philadelphia Flyers game?
Joe, can I ask you a personal
On the
question?
mountain,
Just a personal
Prairie. Go ahead.
That red cup was filled to the brim at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
How much is that?
How do you know that it's not polar beverage? All right, maybe it's a scented soda water, maybe cranberry or raspberry lime,
and maybe Frank Sinatra's still alive.
Yeah,
and he's 99.
Yeah,
99.
Oh.
So how are you doing, Tile Guy? You might as well jump.
Jump in here, Tile Guy.
Tile Guy. Doing fine, thanks.
Yeah. Now,
so Tile Guy.
Yes.
Any announcements? We got Joey's got his gig, and Kevin's got his book. Any sales coming up at the Tile Showcase?
Always a sale on this month. Kitchen with a free sink, granite countertops.
Nice.
Just come on in and
Is it true that
Greg's one of the best guys?
Thank you, Joe.
The name? What's the name of your place again?
Tile Show House.
Yeah.
Is
it right over near the Target on Route 53? So you go to the Target,
You
do some
can't miss
shopping.
me. I got 12 colors for $45 a square foot, granite tops.
Where do you import most of your tile from? Is
Italy,
it from my
Italy.
country?
Yes,
my
your country.
My country.
Where my Ferrari's coming from.
Yeah.
The terracotta. The terracotta.
Yeah.
I have the terracotta in my home.
Yeah, terracotta.
Mexican tile.
That's Mexican.
Needs maintenance. You have to wax it and take care of it. Too much work.
See, there's nothing more riveting than tile talk. Joe.
We can talk about marble and granite.
Mr. Perry, who is a genius when it comes to radio and drawing listeners, more tile talk. More tile talk.
More tile talk.
Yeah. You know what he says? Sex and tile sells.
Sex and tile.
Yeah.
You know who would hate this tile
More
talk?
sex and
I'll
tile.
tell you who would hate this tile talk is Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Really?
What are you talking about, Tile? What are you talking about over here?
Yeah.
Hey, Mom.
Tile's
hey, Mom.
funny.
Hey,
Tile's funny.
Hey, Tile Guy, come over to my house. And my mother, she wants a new granite tile top in the kitchen.
Yeah. Joe, sing us a song.
You know what? Wait a minute.
I want to hear Tony Boy.
Can I just say something? Do you know what I found out? You guys may or may not know this, but I found out from the Jersey Boys.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci
I know
wanted to be
it.
a singer. and a guitar
Really?
player. Did you know that? And he helped put together the Four Seasons.
He was like their manager, wasn't he?
Oh, Tony boy, your mama's calling.
Sing it, Joe.
It's supper time. The pasta's on the stove.
Oh, it brings a tear to my eye.
Parmesan and chicken cacciatore. Funny how.
Yeah.
Made just for you, 'cause mama loves you so.
Everybody now.
Mangia, my chicken, Portobello.
Beautiful.
See, now that's an example of. See, that might have been pretty good TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We
People
don't know.
acting like they have.
Or they may edit it. They may cut it right out.
Joe,
Yeah.
here's what we're going to do for our TV audience right now. Now, who do you want to believe? We'll take a vote. Do you want to believe me or do you want to believe Joe? He says there's nothing but water in that red cup. What do you think?
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I think it's soda. It looks like soda.
Let me check. No, it's vodka. Yeah.
What kind of vodka? Joe?
It's Tito's. Yeah, I buy American.
Great.
I buy American.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of vermouth
Austin,
and a
Texas.
nice stuffed olive with blue cheese.
Refined 5 times. That's right.
Yeah.
Free and made in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They should come out with a flavored vodka.
Well, maybe they will. But here's the thing, Stevie.
Yes.
I know my limitations. Okay, one is enough. That's it.
That's it.
And I'm able to balance, like Sinatra did, the professional decorum.
Can I ask you
with a little taste?
Let me ask you a personal question. I'm
Please
going to ask
do.
you to be vulnerable.
Please do.
Do you actually pray to Frank Sinatra?
Let me put it this. I'm a Christian,
Yeah.
so I believe in Jesus Christ. But
Yes.
just next
Because
to Jesus Christ,
this deification
is
of Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
You know who you remind me of?
Oh.
You remind me of the people that worked at the market basket talking about Mr. Magoulas.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he was wonderful.
Yeah.
His cousin's no good bastards.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Mr. Magoulas.
Yeah, you hold the sign for Artie.
That's right. For 4 years, I worked there selling corn and butter and sugar and watermelon. He's Greek, I'm Irish. I don't care. Mr. Magoulas.
Yeah.
No.
You hit the lottery when you got him as a boss.
Yeah.
The lottery.
And we want to congratulate the people of Everett who got the casino.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because what they were looking for was a destination casino, a place where you can go and do more than just be in a casino.
Yeah.
You can do Everett. You can. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah. No,
a destination casino.
I get it.
Yeah, I know. Everett is next to Malden, where I grew up in Malden, and Everett's where Malden people go for vacation.
Yeah.
You know what you never want to do? If you're going to go to Everett, give yourself more than a week.
Yeah.
Why is that, Stephen?
Well, there's just so much to see, so much to do.
Yeah. And it's like Stevie says, Charlestown is the gateway to Chelsea. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's over the bridge. When I was growing up in Charlestown, in Sullivan Square, just past Sullivan Square, where the casino will be, there were mountains, Joe, of sulfur. Okay, that is the land where this casino is going to be. The radiation is
So
gonna be.
the logistics of it. I mean, what do? You land at Logan. Let's say you're an Arab sheik.
Yeah.
I want to go to Everett. You arrive and then they take
That's
you
what
in a
they do.
limousine. Yeah.
They're in the Emirate, the Emirate over there, and they're all
Dubai,
Abu Dhabi. They're all saying, "We've got to get to Everett. That's my dream. We've got to go to Everett." That's what they're doing.
Everett is beautiful this time of year.
What time of year is that, Joe?
It's a four-season resort. But you know what? You're probably the most intelligent person out of all of us.
I doubt that.
And I want to know. I love to read.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are a novelist.
Yes, sir.
All right. Please, I'm not in the military.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
I want you to make a stand, okay?
Yes.
Do you ever read the New York Times book review?
Yes.
Okay, so they always have these questions. If you were to sit down and have dinner with some other writers, living or dead, who would they be?
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Interesting. Probably for the first part of the night, and then he'd get drunk. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Him and Hemingway, both of them. Yeah.
Okay. Fitzgerald, who else?
You know who Margaret Mitchell, who wrote Gone with the Wind, and she never wrote another book. She was hit by a taxi, I believe, in Atlanta. She's about 45 years old. I think that'd be fascinating. I mean, This is the good old days. She's using a typewriter, like a little Smith Corona typewriter, typing 1,300 pages. God.
And she was hit by a cab?
Yes, she was.
Jeez.
Yep.
So how old was she when she died?
45, 46,
so
something like
she
that.
might have had more guns.
Absolutely.
With the wind.
Absolutely, yeah.
But who was in the cabin? Was he,
I don't know
the
that.
driver
Yeah, that
from
could be.
Jamaica? Did he?
That
Was he
could be.
legal?
You know what they said? You just hit the author of Gone with the Wind.
She
And
died?
He said, frankly, I don't give a damn.
Oh, all right. Good one, Joe. All right.
Score it. Score it and one.
Good.
All right, that's right.
So Fitzgerald, Margaret Mitchell, who
Margaret
else?
Mitchell, let's see.
Who's the best? Who's the greatest living novelist right now?
Well, Time Magazine, though, I know there's a guy named Jonathan Franken said he was the best 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I love, who's the woman who wrote Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games.
Oh.
She's not a great. It isn't literature. It isn't great literature, but the characters in the book are probably the most engaging that I've ever read. You really care what happens to them. That's what's important about a book.
Now you're talking about fiction, but
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So if you go to nonfiction, I mean David McCullough. Do you read?
Yeah, love David McCullough.
Oh, my
yes,
God,
absolutely.
he is a
Joseph
treasure,
Ellis. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you mine.
Okay.
They're two English guys. They're sort of satirists, but they're novelists. They're excellent. Nick Hornby.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Hornby. He wrote High Fidelity.
Okay. All right.
A guy named Martin Amis. Very funny. Philip Roth out of the Americans
yes.
is probably the best
The
novelist.
guy who wrote the
Portnoy's Complaint and all of that.
Philip Roth. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right.
The novelist at one time in this country was a powerful person.
Yes.
By the way,
John
Mario
Steinbeck.
Puzo.
Oh, Mario Puzo. Right.
Yeah.
But John Steinbeck with like the Grapes of Wrath, it had an impact when people were reading. Mario Puzo, who wrote The Godfather.
Yeah.
And if you read the book, Michael was blonde. He looked completely different than the rest of the family.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so you asked him about novelists. Now,
Yes.
who are the best comedians?
None of them are around anymore.
Really, huh? Wow.
If you want to put them in one room, genius. Jonathan Winters, Lily Tomlin, George Carlin, Richard Pryor.
Okay.
Okay? You go see the concert movie. If you're a comedian, a young comedian as I was, and you see the concert movie of Richard Pryor, you say, I don't want to do this. I can never do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, of course, you get back and develop your own style.
So, but then you get the next generation. I mean, you know.
But people don't realize there's a history of comedy, and you go back to even like Sid Caesar and Red Skelton. Those guys are classic.
Yeah.
You know, I love the English guys like a John Cleese, Eric Idle,
I mean,
those
Jackie
guys.
Gleason was
Jackie
pretty
Gleason.
bad.
It's all
Humana.
character stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you like Ricky Gervais?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Ricky Gervais had a great joke about Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner, this is true, it's not a joke. He was 84, he's going to marry a girl 24. And the joke is he lied about his age. He said he told her he was 94. Isn't that a great joke?
That's a great joke.
Some guys you just look at and you laugh. Rodney Dangerfield was like that.
Jeez.
You know.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the what I love is YouTube because you can.
Oh, I know.
You know
what I
it's
get
like-
on
it's
YouTube,
awesome.
Joe, that you would like Firing Line. You remember Firing
yeah,
Line? William F.
sure.
Buckley?
Yeah.
I go
Yeah.
all the way back and look at those. Oh my God, the level of discourse.
Right.
It wasn't like this crap.
No, you're
Sweeney
right.
Malone,
You're right.
you know what I mean?
Well, don't
This
sell
is-
us
this-
short.
This is junk.
Don't sell
You
us
know
short.
that.
I mean, let me give you an example.
The
of
tile guy's crying.
Yeah. No, let me give you an example
Yes.
because Jeb Bush now is you know saying he may run for president, right?
Yeah.
So they called today. Can we get Jeb on? I said, you know what? We're book solid here. You know, let's talk about January or so. Oh, we'd really like to do it now. And I could have bumped the tile guy tonight. I could have bumped
me,
you,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
no, I won't.
You know
do
what
that.
I would ask
Thank you.
Jeb Bush? I would. My first question of him is, it's a weird name.
Jeb Bush?
Jeb Bush.
Really? Yeah.
Jeb Bush. Sounds like something out of the Bible.
Yeah,
Jeb Bush.
Yeah.
Jeb.
We haven't had enough Bushes. Come on.
Yeah,
Is
really.
this the best we can do?
No.
You know what I mean?
No, you're right. Even the mother says enough, right? Yeah, but you know what?
Her mother, but the mother who looks like the guy in the Quaker Oats box, by the way.
Yeah, you know, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
But here's what it
Yes.
comes down to. You need to have $1 billion to run for president. So if you don't have a powerful family,
Yes.
an president in the case of Bill Clinton, or two ex-presidents in the case of Jeb. You don't have that kind of juice, you know. So along comes a guy like who? Name one. You know, I'm going to run for president. Forget it.
Yeah.
You don't have the horsepower.
We were going to do it on ticket. He was going to be the president. I was going to be the vice president.
Yeah, that would be catchy. Yeah.
I think
Tippy Canoe and Tile too.
Oh, another good one. He's on fire tonight.
He's funny.
Do you remember Pat Paulson from?
Oh yeah, I love Pat.
Yes.
Pat Paulson
In
said,
that dry
he said,
delivery.
I want to run.
Yes.
I want to run for president because I'd look great on a dime.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
He said, I believe in the Second Amendment. I need a rifle. You never know when you're going to run into a moose in New York. Oh, listen.
The Smothers Brothers, that was a funny show.
Right.
That was funny.
Yeah. And believe me, what they called controversial then,
my
right,
God,
was
forget
nothing.
about it.
Jesus.
Hey, Steve,
Yes.
give out the phone number for tickets if people
Yes,
want
let's
tickets.
do this.
Come on, let's all
This
get
is-
together there.
This is
Yeah.
going to be one of the greatest shows. I am going
We already
to.
have 3 tables sold, and the chickens
I'm
just got
gonna
printed.
jump in the ocean naked after the show. It's going to be in January.
Nice,
Wow.
nice.
781-589-7777.
That's my number.
Yeah.
If people
Wow.
want to call
Oh, it is?
me. Yeah, or they could call the Venus. at
781-589-7777.
Or they could call the Venus.
The Venus, and
seven-
that's at 277 Ocean Street in Marshfield.
And it's 781-837-6368. And the Venus has tickets right at the front desk, and you can
Great.
go right in there, and it's cash only.
All right, I tell you, you want a fun night, go ahead. And, you know, the demand has been
Maybe what
tremendous.
we'll do is I will sing and Joey will tell a few jokes.
Yeah,
reverse the roles.
Yeah, reverse the roles, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And maybe Joey and I'll do a duet. We did a duet
We're
one
gonna
night.
do it.
Remember?
That's
Remember?
my surprise. I was going to surprise the folks tonight, but now that you've brought it up, why don't we just announce that you'll be singing?
Yeah,
Who are you
yeah.
and my
Who
girl
are
by
you
the
gonna do?
Temptations?
I guess you say what can make me feel this way. My girl, my girl, my girl, talking about my girl, my girl. Ooh, bum 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 bum. All right, so
Joe will be singing bum bum bum.
Yeah, I got the bass covered. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Larry, in the last few minutes here, do you have one more Christmas song you can play? We'll all sing
but
along?
first
No,
let
go-
me
oh, I'm
plug
sorry.
this
Yeah,
one
plug-
more time.
Plug it.
Because Joey made
Yeah,
the big
yeah,
trip
yeah,
from
yeah,
Marshfield
yeah.
to get here.
Yeah.
781-589-7777. Do you need single women to call you too,
Venus.
by the way?
I'm a single guy, so yeah.
781-589-7777.
Okay.
And come to the show, and Joey, you're going to have a hotel room that night?
You have to Fairview Inn.
Yeah.
All right.
Just tell Liz.
This is really going to be a great event.
Oh, it will be. What is the date?
This is not until January 31st.
You know what, though? It just so happens I'm free. Is that a Saturday?
Yeah, it's the 5th Saturday of the month.
Wow.
It's 5 Saturdays.
All right, then
Five Saturdays.
If things work out well, it's probably the night before, like the AFC Championship
yeah.
game. All right, now I want to ask all of the people, Tyler Guy, pull up, Mike from Raynham, everybody, ready?
Gonna sing? Is that what we're gonna do?
2, yeah, 3, 4.
Okay.
Here we go. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. That's right. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus